Welcome back to Dave's Dungeon and another episode of Spooktober movie review. Tonight, we have ourselves a very special night. It's Nicolas Cage Appreciation Night. We try to do one of these every year. But tonight, we have brought you a very special film. This one was written and directed by Osgood Perkins. Now, if you don't know, that is the son of Anthony Perkins himself. Psycho. Norman Bates. And let me just say, if this is his first film, it's quite a good one. Now, I've heard some of your commentary around this one. Some of you say it's too boring, and it's too slow, and it's too meh. What did you expect? Did you hope it was gonna spoon feed you? Aww. MVPs, of course, we're giving one to the legendary, the one, the only, Nicolas Cage. But also, Alicia Witt, who is always a win, earns herself another. As done Micah Monroe and Blair Underwood. Now, I have to tell you a few things about this one. Longlegs, when I say Longlegs, I want you to know I'm referring to the man known as Dale Ferdinand Cobble. And I'm telling you, when Longlegs writes messages, they contain typos. And this is a specific homage to the Zodiac Killer. And during an interview, Osgood recalls a story from the production where a particular Nick Cage demonstrated he had a special ability. Turns out, the legendary man can recognize at any moment just how high and low he is in his audio, and never once blow it. That is quite a special skill, if you ask me. Oh, and this movie went over the top with the marketing. You can find all sorts of media outside of the film that give you even more information. Like, did you know this movie made a phone number that's still active that you can call right now? Don't worry, I'm going to give it to you. And I'll give it to you here and now and in the description below. The phone number is 458-666-4355. That number again is 458-666-4355. 855. Now, calling this number, you may be going, Dave, it's a gimmick. Oh, but there were 24 hours of interrogation footage that needed to be put to good use. And I do think this is where they did it. And if that isn't enough for you, the birthdaymurders.net website gives an in-depth look at some background information on each and every one of Longlegs' prior victims, who the movie conveniently glossed over for convenient reasons. And it makes me sad to say, but Nicolas Cage says this will be his one and only portrayal of a serial killer. He says he knows people will be interested in seeing him play even more evil murderers, but Nicolas says he doesn't like the violence. He doesn't want to play people who hurt people or people who enjoy hurting people. I can understand. And if this is the only foray of Nick Cage into the dark side, it has been quite the good one, as this is his highest grossing movie since, I say independent movie, since Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance in 2011. Now, to those of you who say nothing happens across this entire film, I have to say your survival instincts aren't worth shit, as you didn't pay attention enough to the demon that was not only stalking Miss Lee Harker, agent for the FBI, but was also stalking us across the entire film. You can say Mr. Downstairs made his debut appearance throughout the film 10 different times. Now, I know normally I don't give you these. Normally, I'm not so nice. But tonight, I have them. I found them. And I made sure they're all in order. So, without further ado, let me tell you all the times you should be paying attention. Because this movie is going to attention deficit blindness. Moonwalking bear, a 7-foot-tall black demon, right past your eyes without you even noticing. The first time is when Harker's sitting on the floor reviewing cases. Make sure you look over her left shoulder. In the woods outside her house, you see the man, but did you see the thing behind the man? In the kitchen, when Harker reads the cards left by Longlegs, this may be the first one you catch. I know on my first watch it certainly was the one I started to notice and go, whoa, why is that here? The fourth one is in the window between the bookcases while she's in the library. You have to pay attention, or these little flash-ups, you'll be looking at a scene and going, why am I even watching this? Because nothing happened. But it did. You just didn't catch it. You didn't see. The fifth one is in Longlegs' basement by the stairwell. The sixth is in a small window of the kitchen as Lee is in there. You have to pay attention. It'll be over her right shoulder this time. The 7th will be during Harker's childhood bedroom flashback. It will be in the doorway. The 8th will be in the window of the basement at Harker's mom's house. Keep your eyes peeled for this one. The 9th will be a not-so-subtle reference in Lee's bedroom when the mother tells the story of the doll maker. And the 10th and final image of this demon we see is in the reflection off the front door as Agent Carter slams it at the end of all of it. Make sure you keep your eyes open throughout this movie. It has so much symbolism and so many little stingers and jump scares and symbolism all at the same time, because you're going to be looking for 666s, you're going to be looking for downwards triangles and circles, and you're going to be looking for all of these little jump scare teasers as you watch along. Because even as you walk into Lee's house, you need to check the clocks. Always keep your eyes on the time. So, without any further spoilers and without any further ado, because I heard a lot of you complaining that you didn't get this movie, or that this movie was bad because it was slow and boring, and you didn't get this movie, is what I heard. So let's get into it, because this is one that's more about the feels, the vibes, what everything gives off more so than what the facts of anything going on are. If you start this one trying to analyze it, you will get purposely messed with just the same way as the main characters, to the point where you might get confused or bored by mid-movie. Not what happened to me. Just heard the commentary against this one already, which I have to say I'm very disappointed with and disagree. Because while some of you are putting it above Silence of the Lambs, which I gotta say, what's wrong with you two? At the same time, this was a good movie, and this was worth every horror veteran's time, because it's like a puzzle and a mystery and an enigma all wrapped up in a murder movie. So, a lot of this movie comes down to T-Rex and Tommy James and the Shondells, lyrics and music, and how those subtle little elements add mood and texture to the entire film in various places. Because they don't just expand the soundtrack and my Spotify, but they also expand Longlegs himself and almost add an addition of elements like a real character would, because these real bands almost ground the story and give it a reality that it wouldn't otherwise have. And in this, we are introduced to Dale Ferdinand Cobble, also known as Longlegs. And I gotta say, for those of you who don't like jump scares, this movie is not for you. Because stranger danger jump scare from the very beginning. And I gotta say, Nick Cage's acting only makes the initial sting of a surprise crawl down your spine and make what was an initial creepiness spread fully across your skin as you realize who you're looking at. Nick Cage's initial look is so haunting, and the way the movie did this intro was superb. It is everything we fans of the man, the myth, the monster wanted. And then we meet our hero, Agent Lee Harker, all grown up and not kidnapped by old Longlegs, who was a bit too friendly with the almost birthday girl, like he wanted to get caught almost. This is the first thing that I gotta say will misdirect most of you as to what is actually happening in this film, because you don't know what's going on yet. And on second watch, it's so rewarding to go back and just see every little piece as it's laid out. Meanwhile, Agent Harker and another Agent Fisk go canvassing on a door-to-door assignment that they get put on for a suspect in a new case. But Harker gets a funny feeling as to where this person is. Too bad for Fisk. The residents of that residence had a very strict no solicitation policy, reinforced by firearm. Bang, bang. Cut to our Agent Harker Lee being evaluated afterwards in an FBI facility. It is a fun note that Agent Harker says the words, "Father," for the downwards triangle, which she later connects to the man downstairs in both Longlegs and could it be Satan? The downwards arrow appears a few times throughout the film, as well as all the other symbols you see. Keep your eyes out for them. Also, the words Lee ends up saying during this free association exam end up performing as a type of prophecy for when she has a flashback of sorts. One of her mother watching the camera family murders happen through an open door next to a piano with a priest present. And the man downstairs. I gotta say, this is quite the premonition. And these ideas sort of form our first clues that while Agent Lee Harker may seem like she's on the up and up and wants to get to the bottom of this, she either has to be a psychic of some sort, or she is already under the suggestion and is the unwilling puppet of the influence of Satan already. Turns out, old Lee Harker beat a number of psychic tests, 8 out of 16 to be precise. So, her boss, William Carter, wants to use her for another case involving a string of murders-suicides with no clear motive or culprit involved. Each one involves a father snapping and murdering his entire family, which the movie does show us, and they leave behind cryptic coded satanic letters, all signed with the same name, Longlegs, and none of them in the same handwriting as the person who wrote the letter. 10 letters, 10 families, 9-year-old birthday parties, over 30 years. All the murders happened within the 6 days before or after the victim's 9th birthday. Each one on the 14th of the month. Harker also starts picking up on the pattern with the dates and how they form a downward triangle on a calendar in the timeline, with one date missing. Her own birthday. That's right, birthday girl. We didn't forget you. And Lee Harker, being the very face and soul of an introvert with a millennial core, would rather face down the work and catching and chasing a murderer than her own boss's family, which is, I gotta say, big mood. Massive mood, even. Don't get attached to the boss or his family, though. I know they seem sweet, but it's not good for your mental health, no matter how cute or wonderful Ruby may seem. And yes, not even Ruby. No, bad. Don't. This movie is all about fuck them kids. Lee and her mother Ruth end up catching up a bit, only to have the loudest knock at the door ever just absolutely ruin a good moment between a mother and a daughter. A bit of like cat and mouse, all to deliver the almost birthday girl a coded message in the form of a birthday card that's gonna help. But shh, it's a secret. And fun fact, the translated "stood upon the sand of the sea" is from Revelations 13:1. The movie never really, the movie gives you all of it later, but it doesn't ever tell you what the chapter and verse on this are. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. Meanwhile, within the translator, 666 again, there it is, that little demon number. Ooh, cryptic numerology. But here we see Longlegs is capable of using highly advanced symbolic logic, symbol substitution ciphers, number substitution ciphers, and a Visioneer cipher with the keyword Longlegs. All to say, I see you pee, and I'll kill your mom if you tell anyone. The FBI have them reading the Dark Lord's hand and guide to the ninth circle of hell, but they aren't even positing or considering any kind of supernatural or even cult-like behavior. Oh, right. More 666. The strange numerology. Fear it, oh. It's an algorithm Lee comes up with. And it keeps pointing back to the Camera family farm and murder. Time to go see their farm and talk to the only survivor of the family murders. Carrie and Camera. At the Camera family farm, Carter and Lee find a clue. A little hollow metal ball hidden inside the head of a porcelain doll hidden in the floor underneath the crucifix. I know, sounds quite like the Russian doll situation to me. Meanwhile, we meet Longlegs. Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. And you get my favorite line from him throughout the whole film. Daddy, Mommy, unmake me and save me from the hell of living. End quote. Carter finds out Lee has a visitor when she was a little girl, so he sends her home to ask. Gotta talk to Mommy Ruth. But Mommy Ruth has questions of her own. Do you still say your prayers? Can you imagine getting asked a question like that by your mother? I guess this was supposed to be another clue that something was wrong with Mom. But I just caught Alicia Witt being Alicia. That's how they always get you. All our prayers don't help us. Meanwhile, Harker finds a photograph in her old stuff from her birthday and remembers something, both of which point to our silly little friend Longlegs. The creepiest Nicolas Cage acting ever, and probably his best performance to date, in my opinion. Such a good moment. And it was responsible for most of what caught my attention about this movie. I'll come back anytime I like. Mwah. Chef's kiss. So, you tried to catch the bus out of town before the police caught you the other day. They start to connect the dots between Harker and Cobble. And it's making everyone nervous and sort of victim blamey. Happy birthday, Lee Harker. And if you would like to hear more wails and screams of Longlegs singing, Happy birthday, Lee Harker, call that phone number I gave you. You'll enjoy it, I promise. Well, based on the evidence, Harker believes Longlegs has an accomplice. So there has to be a face-off between the two of them. Get ready for one hell of a scene. So as Cowell says, well, I'll let you get started. Hail Satan. Fong, 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 fong. And he headbutts the table to death, and I have never seen a headbutt be so effective. So as the case completely craps the bed, Agent Browning takes a shaken Agent Lee Hawker, who I've been fighting the whole time not to call Agent Lee Harper. She takes her to her mother's house after what she just went through, and to ask Mother Ruth some questions. Only Ruth decides to show Agent Browning she has a Browning of her own. Bang! Bang! And daughter holding mother at gunpoint like she's in any danger of ever shooting her. Only for mother to pull the trigger in a rather peculiar way. Lee, turns out, had a doll of her own, and Ruth was in on this the whole time. Dun dun dun! And now Ruth has to do one more family, or else Lee can't be free. Because as Ruth says, the soft things in the world don't always get a chance at life. And of course, who's the last family? Oh, it's Carter's family. Of course, it's Miss Ruby having her 9th birthday. Carter couldn't see this one coming from a mile away. And turns out, we are the guest of honor. That finale is a must-see. Because if you drop out of this movie early, you didn't earn it. Because it is a knockdown, drag-out that starts in an unassuming way, only to escalate and escalate and escalate and escalate until you are left wondering what just happened. Because you're left with a very big question in the end. Did Lee win? Ooh, if only they were that lucky. I don't think so. Burn and twist forever. Because, as she said, it was either going to take the three of them, or it was going to take Lee. And as we see, that gun won't go off. I gotta say, if you quit this one early, you suck. You suck. This one was fun. This one was too much fun. And I get it. It's not everyone's cup of tea. And if you don't like it, whatever. But really? There are so many movies I've seen not be this good and not even come this close to having this big a puzzle inside them with so many little moving parts and details. And yet you said it's boring? It's not doing anything? This movie is so tantalizingly deep, you're gonna miss nuggets on nuggets on nuggets, because there's even an Annabelle stinger in this, and it's not even at the end. It's mid-movie. as is there a nun stinger. Yeah, that's right. Somehow this Neon movie links up with something from Blumhouse. Yeah, the original Annabelle is pictured in this film. The original nun is pictured in this film. From the, Warren investigations, supposedly. But I think this is a good movie, and I think the rest of you should give this a chance, especially seeing it's supposedly Nick Cage's best movie now. But I think that's going to do it around the campfire light tonight. Dungeon dwellers, creeps, ghouls, freaks, weirdos, and mutant family one and all. Thank you for joining me. I hope you liked it. Make sure you leave a like if you did. Make sure you subscribe. We've only got 2 more episodes left. On the 29th, it'll be The Spine of Night. On the 31st, it'll be The Lost Boys. And then I'll drop in a final farewell. Goodbye. Before we all sink back into our graves. Until another October and Spooktober comes around. But until then, night night. Sleep tight. And don't let the devil steal your soul in the night. Hail Satan. Sweet dreams.